Hey everyone, Alex here with Carter Products. Now today I want to show you the basics of tuning up your saw so that you get some nice accurate cuts. Now there are 6 steps to getting this right, and I will tell you the first step is really important, and that is making sure that the blade is placed on the wheel so that the deepest part of the gullet is in the center of the wheel at the top. The reason being is the wheel has basically a crown, so if you put the blade right in the center, all you're doing is giving it a pivot point. By backing it up, putting the deepest part of the gullet in the center of the wheel, you're putting all that tension and rigidity at the cutting edge, not the middle of the blade. Therefore, you're only using leverage, not force, to direct where that blade goes. Now, step 2 is tension. Now, a lot of people check tension over here on the right-hand side, and I don't suggest that because you have a guard, guide, table, insert all in the way, basically causing or restricting that blade. Always check down the left-hand side, which is clear and free. I like to lay my finger right here on top of the guard and push. Shouldn't be able to get much more than about 1/4 of an inch deflection without essentially turning your finger white or numb. I'm not a big fan of the gauges that are on the back. I'm not saying don't trust them, but they can be a bit inaccurate because everyone that welds blades tooth matches, and you want to make sure that you get the proper tension on that saw. Now, step 3 is the side guides front to back. You always want to make sure that the deepest part of the gullet is just ahead of the side guides. And remember, whatever we do at the top, we're going to do the exact same thing down at the bottom. So we want to make sure that we back them up to where they're just behind the deepest part of the gullet. Remember, that's where your tooth is set. And if you bring them into the side guides, all it's going to do is flatten those teeth out, forming a knife edge, and then the blade will seek the easiest route through the wood. Now, step 4, that's probably just about as important as where the blade rides, and that is our thrust bearing. We want that thrust bearing close, but not so close that it touches or turns before you begin to cut. If that thrust bearing's touching or turning before you begin to cut, what you're doing is you're pushing on the back edge of the blade, causing that front to tweak one way or the other. Generally the second reason you're going to get drift. So always make sure that it's right up to the back edge of the blade, and it should never rotate or turn until you begin to cut. And the moment you cut, that bearing should begin to turn both top and bottom. Now, step 5, side guides. In the past, everybody's been told to get them as close as possible. Well, this is going to do a couple of really bad things. Number 1, if your bearings are turning constantly, well, it's going to wear those bearings out very quickly, and you're going to have to end up replacing them. They should never turn until you begin to cut. Even the vibration of the blade should not cause that bearing to turn. Maybe if they turn occasionally, it's okay, but they should never turn constantly. So we want to bring those up as close to the blade as you can get without them turning, again, until you begin to cut, both top and bottom. Make sure that table is level. When you put that wood on the table, you want it as flat as possible. You can check it with a square, or I can even use a simple piece of 2x, make a cut, flip it over, bring it around back. If the blade will go back into the cut, then you know that you're square across the whole surface of the table, not just up one side or the other. I hope these tips are helpful, and I hope you have great success in resawing. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for news, tips, and product update. Follow the link in the description to explore all the great tools that Carter Products has to offer.